this fella has managed to get 630,000 people in membership. It's trebled the membership. It's things that dreams are made of. And yet, all I'm saying to the members of Parliament like me is get behind this result. And we can walk into victory over tedious Theresa May. So I say to those right-wing Labour MPs, understand that in your constituency, Jeremy in 12 months has managed to get the membership trebled. That's what they should be thinking about. And that we have got now 1,000 ambassadors in each constituency to sell the message and defeat tedious Theresa. She's even worse than dodgy Dave. I never thought I'd say that.
Thank you very much.
They should understand, as I've already said, it's obvious you're hard of hearing, but you're a bit like Andrew Neil, you know, the one who's had more hair transplants than Michael Jackson. I mean, you have not listened carefully to what I said. I said that those right-wing Labour MPs in Parliament should understand that if a leader can create more than 1,000 Labour Party members in every constituency in Britain, that's an army big enough to beat the Tories, the Lib Dems, the Scot Nats, and even
Dennis is a legend in every conceivable way. Dennis came into Parliament in 1970 as a coal miner, and all his life he's been a coal miner. And I was with Dennis all through the miners' strike, picket lines, meetings, demonstrations, raising stuff in Parliament, and the defeat of the miners' strike. Dennis took it personally. He shouldn't have done, because nobody could have done more to support the miners than Dennis Skinner. But he's there, that authentic working class voice in Parliament, unchanged, unbowed, uncorrupted. Proud to know Dennis and proud to call him a friend.
I know it's hard for you to bear, but the right-wing media have lost again. We've got the biggest membership of the Labour Party ever. Blair used to dream about 400,000. We've got it over 600,000. Why don't you write a decent story about the rise of the membership? But the trouble is, most of you in the media are from the right-wing element. People in the media, by and large, are trying to get rid of him and helping progress the party within a party to try and get rid of him. And you've not succeeded yet, and you'll never manage it. I mean, he's been elected by 62%. The most remarkable thing about Jeremy Corbyn is that the membership has risen from about 150,000 to over 600,000. And if you listen carefully to the secretary today, he referred to the fact that the party owed £25 million before Jeremy became the leader. That £25 million has now been wiped out. Why? Because of the membership and because of all these people that have joined. They have wiped out a £25 million debt. We are the only political party in Britain, maybe Europe, that has got a surplus. It's incredible. And it's time that the people in the Parliamentary Labour Party, who are Blairites or whatever they call them, or were members of Progress and financed by Sainsbury, it's time they understood that Jeremy is here to stay. He's got the biggest majority of anybody since the Second World War. Get behind him. Tedious Theresa is worse than dodgy Dave. And we could wipe, she hasn't won an election, but believe me, taking that election next time will be a relatively easy exercise for a Labour Party that is united. And the people here in the Labour Party are united. Why can't they be in the Parliamentary Labour Party?
I like Dennis Skinner because he speaks from the heart, he's passionate about his politics, he's not a careerist, and he stood up for people's rights for a long time, for workers' rights.
I think Dennis Skinner's amazing. I've only really got to know him in the last couple of months because he's been such a vocal supporter of the people and the membership of the Labour Party, and there haven't been that many vocal supporters. And also he got thrown out of Parliament for calling someone dodgy, who I think the entire country would agree was dodgy.
Dennis Skinner to me is a sort of stalwart of the working class movement. He's been, goes back to the 70s, played cross, the miners' strike. Whenever there's been a dispute or working class people are fighting back against anybody really, Dennis is always there. And he's an inspiration, I think, for everybody.
I admire Dennis for his courage and his determination and his tenacity, and sticking with it for decades through thick and thin. It's not an easy thing to do, and when you're up against it you can get really tired, but Dennis never gives up, and that's admirable. I think he'll go down in history.
The fact that he's opposed the Iraq War, opposed Trident, he's come down on like every single kind of what I feel is morally right kind of issue, and he's still going strong. Like, as far as I would love him to be like the father of the house. Like, he is for me like one of the great kind of British statesmen that's currently still around.
Dennis Skinner. He's one of the very few heroes that I've got, by the way. And what makes it very rare is that he's a politician, because I don't trust the vast majority of politicians, because once they get into power, want to become an MP, they get seduced. They get seduced by the power and the privileges that they've got. But Dennis Skinner has never forgotten his roots. And not only that, he's a great orator. I think he's one of the best orators in the House of Commons, and when he gets up you expect something immediately, and it'll be fire and brimstone and shouting and screaming, and then he'll finish off with a little bit of humour or a little bit of Mickey taking. Now even Margaret Thatcher, she admired Dennis Skinner, because I think he's got the best attendance of any MP in the House. He's there every day because it's his job. Others are there, lawyers and QCs and dentists and doctors, and being a politician to them is just like a part-time thing. Well, it's too important a job that to be part-time. You know, I don't know any miners, and by the way, Dennis is an ex-miner, isn't he? So he knows what it is to graft. I don't know any miners who done that as a part-time job, that then went out and sat on the board of directors or in the education committee or stuff like that. They were miners and that was their job, and they worked bloody hard, 10, 12, sometimes 14 hours a day to feed the kids and feed themselves. So he's come from that stock. So everything about him is genuine, it's real. And that's why I admire him so much. But there's some of them, when you watch them standing up in the House and they're giving out and they're saying this and they're saying that, you know they're only speaking words people want to hear. It's not what they mean. When Skinner gets up, it's from the heart, and he means it, and he calls a spade, and I love him for it. I just wish we had another 20 or 30 Dennis Skinners in the Labour Party at this time in history. Oh, by the way, Dennis,
I didn't receive a proper answer then. Maybe Dodgy Dave will answer it now.
Haven't you noticed? Suddenly I'm bright and breezy.
She worked her fingers to the bone because she used to make our clothes, trousers, as well as knitting the pullovers. Almost everything I had on my back as a young school kid was made by my mother. Yet she was singing Gracie Fields. Getting to know all about you. At the end there was this passage in her life that lasted for about 4 or 5 years, but I still think that when I took all those risks about singing on the welfare with her and she joined in, It wasn't a bad day's work. That's why I continue to do it at Shire Vale and all these other places that in my constituency and elsewhere. I think it's exceptionally vital.
Feel free and easy when I am with you.
If there is something a little bit we can do to enhance their lives, I know that they had a happier time as a result of all the singing and the use of brain coordination with the feet and the hands and all the rest of it. I know that those 2.5 hours helped those people, those 20 odd people in that room.
Putting it my way, but nicely. You are precisely.
But my mother used to sing it so well. Getting to know you, getting to know all about you. You are precisely my cup of tea. Getting to know you, beautiful and new. Things I'm learning about you day